There is a small rectangle of glass sitting in your pocket right now that frightens a bad officer more than almost anything else you own. Not because it's a weapon, because it's a witness, and the most telling moment in a traffic stop is never the license, never the registration. It's the second an officer glances down, sees a little red dot glowing on your screen, and his voice changes. Get off the phone. Are you recording me? 2 short sentences, and in the 3 or 4 seconds it takes you to answer them, most people over 60 quietly give away 2 protections. The Constitution spent 2.5 centuries building for them protections they were never told they had. Picture it for a moment. Let's call her Margaret. She's 67, retired, sharp as a tack, and she's sitting in her own car in a pharmacy parking lot with her phone propped up, already recording because her son told her once, "Mom, if you're ever stopped, hit record." Smart son. Then the officer leans toward the window and says those words, "Are you recording me?" Turn that off. And every instinct Margaret was raised with says the same thing. Be polite, don't make trouble, do what the nice officer asks. So her thumb drifts toward the screen. Stop. That thumb, in that instant, is about to erase the single most powerful piece of evidence she will ever have, and it's about to do it right when she needs it most. Today, I'm going to give you the exact words that keep that camera rolling, keep your phone locked, and keep you calm and safe while you do it. One line. You'll memorize it before this video is over. I'm Walter, and on this channel, I do one job. I take the rights you already have and translate them into plain English you can actually use on the worst day of your life. Quick, honest note before we go 1 inch further. This is for educational purposes only, and it is not legal advice. I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not your attorney. For your own situation, talk to a licensed attorney in your state, because these laws also shift from one state to the next. What I can do is show you what the law actually says and what a good lawyer would tell you, and let you look up every case for yourself. Speaking of looking it up yourself, everything I'm about to walk you through and every situation this channel covers, I put together into a plain language field manual called Know Your Rights. What to say when police stop you. It's the whole toolkit in one place. The traffic stop, the knock at the door, the welfare check, your phone, each one broken down into the exact words and the real case behind them, written so a normal human being can flip to the page they need in 2 minutes. There's even a wallet card in the back you can cut out and keep in your glove box. I built it for exactly the person watching this, someone who was raised to be polite and was simply never handed the key. The link is in the description and it's on my own website. Grab it, keep it in the car, and you'll never have to remember all of this under pressure. All right, back to that camera. Here's what's really happening when an officer tells you to stop recording, because once you see the machinery, you can't unsee it. An officer who asks you to turn off your camera is telling you something important about that moment. A camera protects both of you. When everyone knows they're on the record, everyone behaves better, including good officers who have nothing to fear from it and who often welcome it. So when someone specifically wants the record to stop, that request tells you the record is the very thing worth protecting. The instinct to obey is exactly what's being counted on. And if you're past 60, understand that officers are trained to read people fast. And one of the things some of them read into an older, well-mannered person is this: he won't push back, she won't know she can say no. They were raised to cooperate. Your good manners get treated as an opening. I'm not telling you that to make you angry at police. Most officers are decent people doing a hard job. I'm telling you because the fix is so simple it's almost insulting no one taught it to you sooner. Now, let me hand you the law, because your confidence in that moment comes from knowing this is real, not from hoping it is. Start with the camera. Can you record the police? In public, the answer is a firm yes, and this is not a gray area anymore. Every single federal appeals court that has taken up the question has come down the same way. You have a First Amendment right to record officers performing their duties in public. Not one federal circuit has ruled the other way. As recently as last year, a federal appeals court held that even live streaming your own traffic stop is protected speech. Sitting in your car, recording the officer at your window, is you exercising a constitutional right, not committing a crime. But, and this is the word that keeps you safe, that right has one real limit, and its name is interference. You can record. You cannot obstruct. You can't block the officer. You can't get in his way. You can't shove a phone in his face. Keep a reasonable distance, keep your hands visible, and let the camera sit there quietly doing its job. Interference is the one thing that turns a lawful recording into a real problem, so you take that off the table out loud, and I'll show you how in a second. Now the phone itself, because "are you recording me?" almost always comes with a cousin. Hand me your phone, or unlock it. Here the law leans even harder in your direction. In the year 2014, the Supreme Court decided a case called Riley versus California, and it was unanimous. All 9 justices, no dissent. The court held that police generally need a warrant to search the contents of your cell phone. A phone, the court said, is not like a wallet or a pocket. It holds what they called the privacies of life, your messages, your photos, your banking, your medications, your whole history. It is not fair game just because an officer wants a look. And there's a second layer, deeper still. The passcode you keep in your head is not a thing in your pocket, it's information inside your mind. Forcing you to reveal what's in your mind runs straight into the Fifth Amendment, the one that says you cannot be made to be a witness against yourself. Courts have consistently treated a memorized passcode as protected for exactly that reason. Now, here's a wrinkle worth knowing, especially for you. Your face and your fingerprint don't get the same clear protection. Courts are genuinely split on whether an officer can make you unlock with Face ID or a thumbprint. One federal appeals court said yes in 2024, another said no in 2025, and the Supreme Court hasn't settled it. So a lawyer will tell you plainly, if privacy is your concern, lean on a passcode you type, not your face. A number in your head is the strongest lock the law gives you. So put those 2 facts side by side and look at what you're actually holding. The camera, protected. The phone's contents, protected. The passcode in your head, protected. 3 walls the Constitution already built. And almost everyone knocks all 3 of them down themselves with their own polite hand in about 4 seconds. Let me show you how, because this is the part that ruins good people. What does the average person do when an officer says, "Turn that off"? They turn it off. What do they do when he says, "Hand me the phone"? They hand it over. It feels like cooperation. It feels like the decent thing. But the instant that camera goes dark, the only neutral witness in that encounter is gone, and it's your word against a report. And the instant that phone leaves your hand, you've handed a stranger the privacies of your entire life and called it manners. The officer didn't take your rights. You gave them away because no one ever told you that no was even on the menu. Now here's the part that trips up even the people who know a little. Some of you are thinking, fine, I just won't say anything. I'll keep recording and stay silent. And I understand the instinct, but silence alone has a trap in it. If you go quiet and stiff and refuse to say anything at all, an officer can later write in his report that you were uncooperative and evasive, and in a courtroom, he wouldn't say a word and wouldn't put the phone down can be spun to sound like guilt. So the goal is not silence. The goal is something better, firm and polite at the same time. You are going to tell the officer in a calm and respectful voice exactly what you're doing and exactly what you're declining, so there's nothing evasive about it, and everything's on the record. Firm and polite is the single most powerful posture a person can take, and I'm about to hand you the words that hold it. Here they are. This is the line. Say it calmly. Say it slowly. Keep your hands where he can see them. Officer, I'm recording this for both our records, and I'm not interfering. I don't consent to a search of my phone, and I won't unlock it. Read that again in your mind, because you're going to memorize it. I'm recording this for both our records, and I'm not interfering. I don't consent to a search of my phone, and I won't unlock it. One more time, slowly, the way you'd actually say it at your window. Officer, I'm recording this for both of us, and I'm not interfering. I don't consent to a search of my phone and I won't unlock it. That's it. That's the whole shield. Now let me show you why every single piece of it works, because when you understand it, you'll never fumble it. Start with, I'm recording this for both our records. Notice you're not being aggressive. You're not saying, I've got you on camera. You're framing it as protection for both of you, which is the truth and which is disarming. It quietly asserts your First Amendment right without turning it into a fight. A calm assertion beats a challenge every time. Next, and I'm not interfering. This little phrase does more work than any other. Remember, the one thing that can turn lawful recording into a real problem is interference. By saying out loud that you're not interfering and by making sure you actually aren't hands visible, staying put, not blocking anyone, you take the officer's only real argument off the table and you preserve it for a judge later. You're honoring the limit and naming it in the same breath. Then, I don't consent to a search of my phone. Say those exact words, I don't consent, not I'd rather you didn't, not I guess that's not okay. A wishy-washy answer can be treated as a yes. I don't consent is a clean line in the sand that a judge can see later, and it slams shut the easiest door an officer has, your permission. Under Riley, without your consent, they generally need a warrant. Don't hand them the shortcut. And finally, and I won't unlock it. That's your Fifth Amendment protection, plain and firm. The passcode is the contents of your mind, and you're keeping it there. Not I don't know how, not maybe, just I won't. Clear, calm, final. Now the moment you've been waiting for. Because you already know, a bad actor doesn't always fold on the first no. So let's walk the pushback, step by step, and I'll give you a calm answer for each one so nothing catches you off guard. He says, turn the camera off, that's an order. Your body stays cooperative, but your recording stays on, and you answer evenly. I understand, officer. I'm keeping it recording for both our records, and I'm not interfering. You're not defying him for sport. You're declining an order you're not required to obey, and you're saying why, calmly. He says, hand me the phone. I just want to see it. Here's your firm one, and never skip it. You do not hand over your phone to be checked. That is a search, and you don't consent to it. So you say, I don't consent to you taking or searching my phone. Keep it in your own hand. Keep that hand visible, and don't pull away sharply. Just don't surrender it. He says, unlock it, or this looks like you've got something to hide. Let me be very clear about this one, because the pressure is designed to work on decent people. Refusing to unlock your phone is not evidence of a crime. Using your rights is not proof of guilt. You answer, I'm not unlocking it. If you believe you need it, you can get a warrant. Letting them go get a warrant is not you losing. That's the system working exactly the way it's supposed to. And he says the big one, you're being uncooperative. That's obstruction. This is the bluff that leans on the interference line. So you calmly close that line again. I'm cooperating, officer. I'm not interfering. I'm not obstructing, and I don't consent to a search. Recording him is not obstruction. Declining a search is not obstruction. Obstruction is physically getting in the way, and you aren't. You've now said, out loud, the one word that answers his one argument. Through every bit of that, one rule runs underneath everything, and it's the rule that keeps you breathing and keeps your case strong. Comply with your body. Assert with your words. Fight it in court, never on the street. If an officer physically takes your phone, despite all of this, you do not wrestle him for it. You say once more, clearly, I do not consent to this. You let it happen, and you remember every detail because the roadside is where he holds all the power, and the courtroom is where the balance flips back to you. You never win a bad stop on the pavement. You win it later, with a lawyer, with a record, and the record is exactly what that camera was protecting. So let's lock it in. If an officer ever says, get off the phone, are you recording me? You don't reach for that screen. You keep it rolling, you keep your hands visible, and you say, officer, I'm recording this for both our records, and I'm not interfering. I don't consent to a search of my phone, and I won't unlock it. That one line keeps your witness alive, keeps your whole life locked behind a passcode they can't compel, and keeps you firm and polite at the same time. Say it calm. Say it once. Let it stand. If this made one thing click for you, do me a favor, subscribe so the next person raised to be polite gets handed the key too. And next, I want to take you to the front door because the same instinct that makes people turn off a camera makes them open a door they never had to open, and there are 4 words that end a knock and talk cold. That one's waiting for you right now. I'll see you there. Stay safe out there.